masking these decals. Pretty sure there's no possible way of finding replacement decals. Got to do the white paint next. So I'll cut around this clear packing tape on all these decals, get them protected, masked off for the white paint. I have the red finished, and in a word, it's stunning. Quite possibly the best paint job I've ever done on anything. And I ran into some issues finding paint. This is the matching paint for this covering that is no longer available. I've actually even seen, searching to find this paint on eBay, empty cans for sale, vintage cans. So maybe I'll put that up on eBay. I don't know what people are doing today for covering airplanes and to fuel proof the cowling and the wheel pants in match colors, but I managed to match the color of this with Klass Kote, and I'll tell you how I did it. I mixed two colors. Admittedly, I got lucky. I bought some bright red Klass Kote. It's too red. This is very much an orange red. I had orange from painting my RSX 380. So in my mixing cup, I measured out for the two-part, the color and the hardener, and I just kept adding orange. It's an orange red, right? Pretty simple. Kept adding orange, ended up about a third orange, 2/3 red. Before I do the white on the bottom of the cow, here's a look at the Fiberglass Repairs. It's where I had the blue tape protruding into these openings, which gave me my final fit on the head and the pit style muffler. So here, this idle screw opening, and this side for the pit style muffler. That's where I had the blue tape protruding into the openings, which gave me my final fit to the head and to the pit style muffler. What I did was I used this moss system, fiberglass resin, hardens like it should, like fiberglass. It's not soft like epoxy resin would turn out if you just use epoxy and fiberglass. What I did was I mixed that up with microballoons, give you the white color like a gel coat, and also makes it sandable. Brush that just where the blue tape was, and then mixed up some, just the resin, brushed it probably an inch around each of the openings, and I used 2 layers of 3/4 ounce fiberglass cloth, made them repairs. So that's coming out rather nicely. Real pleased with how the finished look is going to be. Can't even tell it was repaired. The last thing I'd like to share with you on this fiberglass cowling repair and paint job is how I sprayed the epoxy paint. This is the pre-vol system. Pretty neat system. You can spray pretty much any kind of paint. So you have these pressure cartridges, put your paint in this bottle after you've mixed it with this Klass Kote. You mix it, you let it start to fire for a half hour. So that's in there. To get it to spray properly, I've attempted it before. It's kind of spattery, didn't get real good results. I came to find out I needed more reducer. What I ended up going with was, so you got, this is 1-to-1, the epoxy paint and the catalyst, and then I used the same amount of reducer. So 1-to-1-to-1, 1.1 ounces of the paint mixed up with this orange-red color, 1.1 ounces of the catalyst, and 1.1 ounces of the reducer. Lid on, shake it up real good, and you put this tube in here, the bottom of this cartridge. It has the aerosol pressure. Screw that on. Pop the lid off. Just like a spray bomb now at this point, except you have this handle here. Then I got this kind of a finish laid down really nice, no spatters, nice shiny hard paint job on this fiberglass cowling. So got to mask it off, got the white to do. I also have the screws that hold the cowling on prepped, ready to paint. Okay, time to mix up some paint. Do a final wipe with denatured alcohol so I don't get any fish eyes. Lay down some white. Alright, it's time to do the final install. It says had a day, day and a half to fully cure. Let's put the cowling on. This should clear perfectly as it goes back and rotates down past the needle valve here. And this cutout going back into the cowl here is what I was talking about, where I don't need that much clearance once it's in place, but I need it for the install. You can see it would bind here as it is. I'm not scratching any paint. Here it's clearing the needle valve. Once it gets past there and drops on, goes back to where these screw holes are lined up, the head opening is lined up. That's why this opening for needle valve is cut farther forward. But that's roughly in place right there. Very nice, smooth install. Worked out beautiful. Here's all my screws that I painted when I was spraying the cow. So, nice match. Just a detail, nice touch. Makes the end result look that much nicer. The fit on these screws is a good enough fit. It mostly holds the alignment of the cowl. Final fitting of the cowling will be aligning this nose ring up with the, you see I got just enough movement here, and tighten the screws down, align that up with the nose cone. I'm going to go ahead and tighten these screws down, put the prop nose cone on, and take a look at that when I get that done. Here's something I like to do with a wooden prop. I tightened this up a while ago. I let it rest a bit. The wood tends to compress a bit. Give it a final tightening. Carl Goldberg snap-on spinner. I have the high-speed needle reinstalled. Looks like the alignment, the nose cone to the cowling, absolutely beautiful. Looks like the painted pinstripes are matching up nicely. Successfully saved the old decals, masking them and painting around them. Beautiful alignment on the pinstripes on this side. Very pleased with the modifications to the fiberglass cowling fitting in the Super Tiger 90 in this airplane. I'm going to put the wing on, show you some of the features, the transmitter, some of the programming features that I didn't have before with this airplane. It has to initialize what's going on there. So first thing with a new radio setup, I like to check the control directions. The habit I've gotten into is pulling all the sticks towards me and to the left, and all the control surfaces should do the same thing. So rudder, this left aileron, elevator, it's all coming towards me when I'm on this side of the plane. Left ailerons, it calls it the bank left, left rudder, up elevator. Here's a feature I didn't have before, is the flaps are not instant. They're having reduced speed, more scale looking. Pretty cool feature. And the other thing I didn't have before is I have 3 flight modes. Flight mode 1, which with these servos being stronger, faster, and I just never thought to do this before. Also part of it is with this bigger motor, I went for more control throws. So should be more 3D aerobatic. So flight mode 1, I have all these extreme throws. Flight mode 2 is a more relaxed, normal, big air, aerobatic flying. And flight mode 3, only because I had 3 flight modes set up. Those are my original throws. Right here is the original throws. I measured them before I changed the radio. I just thought I would save them to see how it flew before and be able to compare it to flight mode 1. I also set up exponential in all 3 flight modes. So around the middle of the sticks, just making finer control inputs. I've set them up where you go to flight mode 1 and you look around the center stick how much ailerons I have. Flight mode 2, different amount of exponential, but same feel. My original settings, same thing. So I did that with all the control surfaces. Rudder. Shouldn't, for just normal flying in any flight mode, should all have the same feel. Same with elevator. So no surprises. You go in any flight mode for just flying around the pattern, taking off and landing. That's the radio setup. The retracts, I'm not going to show them. I did it in another video. It's nothing more than this switch. It causes the air pressure to actuate the pneumatic retracts. So there's the new radio programming. There's the plane set up in all its glory. Super Tiger 90. The only thing left to do now with this radio check I just did here, fire up the motor.